Let me ask you a question, first of all. Whenever somebody uses a term too much and it loses its meaning, what do you call that? Dilution or misrepresentation or what have you? For example, I'm getting tired of the word patriot being used by people who think they've cornered the market on it, that they know what it means. It's my patriotism. I'm a patriot, you're not. Can you be a Democrat and be a patriot? No. Really? No. Can you support Nancy Pelosi and be a Democrat? Absolutely not. Are there any people in the military right now willing to risk their lives for this country who are Democrats and support Nancy Pelosi? Wow. So you're a patriot, and you're determining who is a patriot, and you're giving out awards for you're a patriot and you're not. So Nancy Pelosi, no Democrats are patriots. Is that it? Is that what you're saying? What do you think about a network that doesn't cover a candidate, a former president of the United States, who now is running for? Is that patriotic? See, I love the way people just claim these terms. And you need other people to say, wait a minute, hold it. That's not fair. I got into an argument like you cannot believe. Somebody said the other day, pray for someone. Pray for someone. Pray. So I said, does prayer affect things? I just did a brand new piece at Lionel Media. I will go into greater detail, but I asked a question. I said, does prayer affect physical outcome? If somebody's sick and you pray for them, will they get better? It's a very simple question. The same question you ask, will physical therapy help if I go? Will surgery help? Will this particular cancer treatment help? Will this help? If I do this, if I do chelation, if I do whatever, will this help? Makes sense. It's the most logical question in the world. And their response was, well, yes, of course. Well, how do you know it works? How do you know it works? I know more people who pick apart chiropractic, which is a weird term because it's an adjective, which is really a noun. But anyway, I know people who will ask more of that than they do faith. And this is not to pick apart faith, because faith is up to you. I don't really care one way or the other. But it was interesting, the mindset. It's like, oh, no. Wait. You mean to tell me that how can we do an experiment to see whether prayer works? Well, we can't. So why do you believe it? Because it's faith. What does faith mean? Faith? You just have faith? I said, okay, so I believe in global warming and climate change. Why? I just do. Now, they didn't. That's crazy. How do you know? Why do you not believe it? Why do you say it's not true? You believe in prayer changing the course of cancer, and I believe in something that science theoretically has agreed to. Why is that crazy, but yours isn't? Why? You see how we're so chauvinistic with what we believe. We believe these things. Well, that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. So let me ask you something. This is obviously a Christian, which just happens to be the majority of people in this country, just by virtue of where we are. So if you met somebody, let's say, who was Muslim or somebody who was Jewish, would you argue with them? No. Why not? The answer is because, well, I don't really run into it that often, but, they have their religion, and I'll kind of, okay, fine. But what if somebody is an atheist? Well, that's a different story. What about a Buddhist? They're atheists. They don't believe in a deistic theism, per se. Well, I don't know. So why do you believe what you believe? Why do you say that? Why do you say these things? How do you know what you know, and how do you believe what you believe? In Buffalo, you heard this, there is a thunder snow. Biggest drop of snow in inclement weather in I don't know how long. I talked to a friend of mine and said, well, so much for that global warming. Excuse me, it's not global warming, it's climate change. Why? We don't say global warming anymore. Why don't you? Who are we? Well, we don't. You don't? No. Well, explain this to me. Well, I can't really. It's faith. Wait a minute. More faith. More belief. How do you know what you know? And why do you believe what you believe? Well, religion, you get a pass. Why? You just do. But shouldn't you apply strict observation? Never. Not to religion. No way. Science, even that. But how much have you really done to explain climate change or global warming or why it does or doesn't make sense? You really haven't. You just don't like it because that's part of your conservative package, isn't it? Because you know people like this. There are these people who just, they just believe this stuff. Like people who use the word patriot. You're a patriot. I'm going to give you an award. Well, who are you to decide what a patriot is? Excuse me, who? Wait a minute. What is I don't understand what this word means. What does it mean to be patriotic? You mean to be Republican? To be conservative? Well, Trump's conservative. You're going to give him an award? No. Why not? Well, he's on the outs. Why? You see the joke we live in? You see these words we use? Love, love, love. I love you. I love this. I love this. I love along with amazing and insane and you know. Everywhere you go. It's the most. Yesterday, Nancy Pelosi stepped down. People that I know of hate Nancy Pelosi. Why? You hate her? What has she done? Well, what has she done? And they don't really know. They don't really know. They kind of hate. It's the way we work in scrums. Faith, belief. People are loving the fact that, hey, Twitter's, apparently they're firing on the people on Twitter. Why? I don't know. Why are you happy about that? Why are you happy? I just am. But you use Twitter. Yeah, what if it shuts down? You think Elon Musk is helping Twitter? What are you doing? I don't know. This is the level of understanding that we are at right now. This is the level of understanding. This is it. FTX, SBF. This is the biggest story of them all. The biggest story. I tried to watch my usual 5 minutes of Tucker. Who does he have on? Swear to God. The most important issue there is, who do they have on? The pizza reviewer, Dave Portnoy. This is where we are right now. This is where we are. We got this guy who's who's a patriot. This one who wants to hang around cool guys who gets the chicks like Portnoy, I guess. You got other people who hate Nancy Pelosi. You have other people who believe in prayer, can't explain it. You have other people who hate Donald Trump. And we have all of these. It's like, is there an adult in the house anywhere? Is anybody around here? I'm looking. Is anybody around here I can talk to? Nope. Can anybody help me with this? Nope. Anybody? Nobody? Nobody can help me? Nope. We don't fit in. The biggest story is FTX. The biggest story. Where does it go? What does it mean? What does it mean? Do not expect anybody to spend any amount of time because you, with all due respect, have the attention span of a gnat and don't want to hear anybody go into let's start off with this. The same way you don't want to hear about Ukraine, same way you don't want to hear about really anything for that matter, because it involves a certain degree of, it takes some time to kind of go through this. But nobody wants to do that. They want to give me a TikTok version of this, and I'm off to the races. And by the way, don't make me think, especially when it in any way calls into account my belief, whether it's faith, flag, patriotism, patriot, you're a patriot, here's an award, or my dislike. I don't really understand what's going on here. I have a rudimentary fifth grade education when it comes to politics, and I'm supposed to hate Nancy Pelosi. Well, why? Because she tore, I don't know what I can't stand her. I just can't stand her. Look at her. Well, that's it. Same way people look at Trump and they can't stand the way he looks because he's orange or something. This is where we are right now. I want you to remember something. I'm going to tell you this. And I want you to listen very, very carefully. And listen like you've never listened before. If you think Nancy Pelosi is antithetical to your belief system, Hakeem Jeffries is going to blow your mind. And you don't even know what's coming. You don't even know. You don't. So just wait. Just wait. Because this is a story that knows no... There's no... It is so fascinating. But let's go through a few things before we begin. First of all, remember, like this video, subscribe to the channel. Let me also remind you, you know what's coming around the corner? Christmas. Christmas is just around the corner. And have I got a gift for you? Fine for Dad or Grad. And yes, Mom, it makes julienne fries, and it's a great stocking stuffer. Go to the Lionel Nation merchandise room. Just go. Go online. Look here. Go to YouTube. Just look where you can go to the merch. Mugs. This thing. You know how long I've had this? This is the first thing I ever got. This thing has traveled everywhere. I've dropped it. I use it as a bludgeoning tool. You can raise koi in here. It holds about 9 quarts of coffee. It's fantastic. Among other things. It has everything you can imagine, from scarves and hats to merkins to flak, anti-flak, you name it. Ballistic armament. You go to the merchandise. It's wonderful. And one more thing. This kills me. This absolutely kills me. The other day, during Bali, during the G20, what do you think they were talking about? What do you think they were talking about yet again? It's the most amazing thing to me. Truly, it was amazing. Amazing. They were talking about grain and food and what is happening around the world and what Klaus Schwab, ESG ratings, World Economic Forum, what is happening right now before your very eyes. I don't know how to tell you about this. You can't be nicey about this. There is going to be food shortages. They're telling you about this if you pay attention. But if you're watching stories about Nancy Pelosi and TikTok and whatever, you're not going to get this. But they are telling you this. And there is going to be food shortages. And I'm telling you, when these shops and the stores close for whatever reason, whether because of supply chain, whether because it's, I don't know, they just close. Maybe because people are acting nuts and insurance companies are saying, we better close that down because we can't protect people anymore because they're out in the parking lot and they go nuts. Remember, we're the people who go crazy years ago at a Best Buy and we're trying to buy a flat screen TV and we've got the money and we're going to kill each other over a TV. We're the ones who go crazy over toilet paper for no particular reason. Whenever there's a thunder snow, we have milk, bread, and milk and bread. I don't know why we do this. So just imagine if all of a sudden there is a serious grain shortages and the like. By the way, there's still shortages as far as baby formula. Remember that one? See, just because you haven't heard something in a day doesn't mean it goes away. So preparewithlionel.com is where you have to go. My Patriot Supply is the best there is. And preparewithlionel.com is how you support us and how you prepare for an emergency. 3-month emergency food supply kit. Over 2,000 calories a day with a 25-year shelf life. 25 years. Right now, you need one of these per family member for 3 months. That's it. Preparewithlionel.com. This is not a joke. This is not some kind of maybe we'll... No. This isn't that, hey, let's get a nice little flashlight. Flashlights are nice. And a rod and reel and a dehydrator with banana chips is not what we're talking about. We're talking about the end of the ability to purchase food for long periods of time. It's coming. They're telling you this. Preparewithlionel.com. Preparewithlionel.com. Now let's go to this right now. I'm looking around here and I'm asking myself, I don't know if anybody really is getting what's happening. Yet again. The biggest is FTX. And you can say, well, why is this such a big deal? Well, here is a theory and hypothesis, I should say, that is being bandied about. If I can just give this to you, number one. First, why do you think a lot of governments do not like these types of things? Why do you think governments do not like this? Why? Why don't governments like cryptocurrency? Why do you think that is? Well, maybe because you can't follow it and you can't shut it down and you can't control it. Maybe that's it. Maybe the whole notion of Bitcoin and this blockchain stuff is like, oh my God, we don't know where it is. We can't shut it down. We want to go completely cashless, but our cashless. We can't shut down means. So let's assume, just saying, some people are hypothesizing. Let's assume that there's this almost a deliberate, controlled demolition, so to speak, or a known implosion of the crypto market via FTX that will devastate, that will put the nail in the coffin to get these kids away from this weird Dogecoin and this coin and all that, and to make people suffer. Big names, Tom Brady and Gisele Bündchen and others. And let me tell you something, and listen to me carefully. I talk about this on my LionelMedia.com. There are various sources of news. There's the internet and, this stuff that you Twitter and TikTok and whatever it is. That's that. But then there's the other stuff, like in the back. Remember in the old days, sometimes you go to a store and they'd say, in the back. Oh, yeah. There used to be this story here. I don't know if they still have it, but they sold like, I don't know, cosmetics and stuff. But in the back, they had these adult things, devices and lingerie and all this stuff was in the back. And they knew. And it was interesting. It was nothing really compared to. It's like now. Do you ever notice sometimes on like a Route 3 you'll see all of a sudden. There's one place too in Westchester. I think in Yonkers. All of a sudden they say lingerie. It's like who pulls over? Who pulls over? Yeah, lingerie. Who pulls over and says, "Yeah, I'm going to get some crotchless panties." Let's stop in on our way home next to the Bed Bath & Beyond. We'll get a slice and some. I don't know what this. Anyway. But there are these stories, and they're called blind gossip, others, and the story. They're never sued. They're always correct. And the number of people who have lost everything in this FTX, you have no idea.
But did you see that guy said he made up his whole image? He said, I just, you wokesters, I made up my image. Did you see all that?
Right. SBF, or SBF. Sounds like that tanning commercial. No, FTX. His Samuel Blank Fine. He's called SBF for FTX. And how about that whatever that girlfriend is? Oh my God! Did you see this? Did you see what she had to say about and her father with MIT from the head of the anyway. Make a long story short, it's all nonsense. They created this. No due diligence, no nothing. So here's my point. All of a sudden, it all collapses. So people are going to say, remember that FTX? It's got to be big. Remember a while back, there was some talk about Bitcoin. Warren Buffett said, I don't know about that. It didn't scare anybody. It went down a little bit. But if you spook the world, isn't that funny? Now, am I saying that's what happened? No. It's a theory. And it makes a lot of sense. But you're not going to hear that because you want to hear about polycules and polyamory, and you want to hear about how she had harems in China and how that's where the story is going. This is so good. This story is so good and so deep. And
But they're saying the celebrities, it's a fraud, paid a lot of money to promote.
celebrities were paid theoretically, and there it was yesterday. There it was. I thought maybe we're gonna get maybe your friend Tucker can do something to maybe look to explain this because it's the only time you're paying attention. The others aren't gonna cover it. Are you kidding me? And so what does he do? He calls Dave Portnoy. Say, no, wait a minute. Give him a pizza. Go let him talk. No. Why are you doing this? Because that's the way it is. We don't want to really teach you. We want to just tantalize you with something that appears to be. Remember years ago when they sold this stuff? People sold this. Like, I've got a barrel of this. What have I got? I got raisins and yogurt covered. Bleh. I can't sell it. Wait a minute. Call it trail mix. Hey. And they sold it like you couldn't believe. What are you eating, candy? No, it's trail mix. Oh. Or light, Lite, or natural, or whatever. You just give it a name. And that would be great if we could do this. But no, that's not it. Because nobody wants to do this. It's bells and whistles and screaming and yelling. And I'm telling you, the biggest... Let me give you an example. Another one. There was a story, a bit apocryphal, but I love it, and I cannot swear to it. I'm telling you right now. But it goes something like this. Right around the time of the Manhattan Project, when people were kind of getting interested in this notion of nuclear bombs and nuclear fission and all this kind of jazz, there was this guy named Enrico Fermi and Niels Bohr. Niels Bohr, the father of quantum mechanics, this thick Danish accent, very, very boring, very hard to understand. And he's trying to explain to people what this is. And it's not going anywhere. And it's like, whoa. So there is no version of bringing in Dave Portnoy, but as they were looking at this, and people were kind of closing, the cases of their typewriters, and they're saying, I don't know what the hell this guy's talking about. Enrico Fermi comes in and goes, no, wait a minute. Do you know what he just said? Do you know what this means? And then he said, basically, we're talking about unleashing, or basically harnessing, the cosmic glue that is responsible. Anyway, they got it. That's what we need. I'm trying to be your Enrico Fermi. I'm trying to say, no, wait a minute. Spend your time. Turn TV off. Turn cable off. Research this. Keep going. Do you research this? Let me explain you something. In the old days, whenever you would research a legal issue, you would be surprised at how many tangential issues there was. One time, when I was in law school, we had a moot court issue. Our moot court, very interesting, I thought. Of all things, it was real property. It was implied solar easements by implication. Guy has a this is a hypothetical moot court, hence the term moot. He has a solar collection panel, kind of like and somebody builds something next to him, and it causes shade, and now he can't power his home because, kind of like what they're doing to the atmosphere, but I digress. So anyway, so he says, hey, tells a fellow next to him, you built this thing, and now you're shutting down. I can't, all my roof tiles, my solar panels don't work because of this shade that you've caused by virtue of this building. You're obstructing my easement. You're what? I got an air and light easement. You do? No, you don't. And there was this whole notion of the old days, ad coelum. The ad coelum doctrine says you own your property. Here's your property. You own everything below and everything above. Anyway, make a long story short, as we got into it, I'm reading and researching, going to the digest and this, and then this other issue would open up, and this issue would open up, and it was fun. And I said, I never knew this, and it was great. It's like the more you dug, the more you learned, and the more you saw, and the more you realized. We don't do anything. We don't dig. We don't do this. It's beyond us. We have no sense. We're not even autodidacts. We're nothing. We don't investigate this. You will see a picture of the guy with the funky hair and the weird-looking elf girlfriend or whatever, and that's it. That's as far as you're going to go. You won't go any further. You won't read elsewhere. You won't take this. You won't devote an hour, not at once, over the day. You don't do this. You don't do this. I know people who talk to me all the time about global warming or climate change. They don't know the first thing about it. They accept it like other friends of mine accept the idea that prayer can change the course of disease. They just believe it. And they hate Nancy Pelosi or they love Donald Trump. They don't know why. They just do. This is the story. Okay, I'm wasting my time, but that's okay. Here's the other huge. This is so big. It's just. Joe Biden says that they want to grant immunity to MBS, Mohammed bin Salman, who basically, we all know, whacked, beheaded, dismembered Khashoggi. This is the biggest story of. This is it. This is so huge. It's enormous. They were slamming Donald Trump because Donald Trump, well, you were buddies with MBS. And Joe Biden, they handed him a script and he said, and we're going to go after you. And he embarrassed him until he needed energy and oil and gas. And he wouldn't even answer the phone. Now, 180. Biggest story, watch what's going to happen. Nothing. I'd love to find out, hey, Fox News, would you compare this to Trump? You're not talking about Trump? Why? You don't like him, but you're a news organization. But he's a patriot, he's not? Who's a patriot? Who? DeSantis. What? See where we are right now? This story is bigger than anything. I mean, they are laughing like you can't believe. And he doesn't even know. Okay. This is a guy who came out. And Trump would say, now listen, I'm not saying the guy's not. It appears to anybody who even remotely, they have him on recordings of recordings in the Turkish, whatever it is, embassy or consulate. They've got, the noise and and not a word. Nothing. No comment. No, nothing. No. Whatever. You see, what's happening right now is that I'm living in a world, along with you, where nobody seems to understand. It's like nobody understands the nuance. I knew somebody years ago it was very interesting, I'll never forget this, who was married to a guy, a very nice guy, but he was from another country, and they never got jokes. Like she one time said, how about the Three Stooges? Who? They didn't understand anything. They communicated, but they didn't understand. They didn't really understand. they didn't understand nuance and syntax and sarcasm, and they didn't get it because they didn't understand the language. They didn't really understand it. And that's not good. It doesn't. I mean, it's funny at first, it's quirky, but then later on, when you want to say, listen, I want to talk to you, I want to be able to understand something, and sometimes they would get into arguments because sometimes they would perceive something as a slight when it wasn't, when it was anyway. That's where we are now. And I don't know how to tell you this, and I love you to death, but I can tell by some of the comments, I don't think anybody really understands what's going on here. I'm not trying to be rude. I don't think you understand what's going on here. I really don't. I see things. I do not think you understand where we're going with this. Hakeem Jeffries. Who? Let me give you an analogy. I love them. Any alcoholics here? Okay. One of the real problems, as was explained to me, regarding alcoholism, real alcohol, not heavy drinking, but serious alcoholism. One of the problems is that the disease is progressive. Okay? So that means if you stop drinking today and you go for 5 years or whatever it is, and you pick up, you start again, you don't pick up where you left off. You pick up where you would be had you continued drinking. Now, this is as was explained to me, and I like the idea. I don't like the idea, but it's a fascinating issue of it being progressive, a progressive disease. What we're seeing right now is progressive. You're not going to recognize this country 5 years from now, because everything that's going on did not change because Nancy Pelosi is stepping down. It's not. It's nothing. Is all of the programs. Look at what's happening in San Francisco. Just look at what's going on here. We are not. Alvin Bragg in New York is Soros prosecutors doing the same thing. Nothing is changing. It's picking up speed. What are the Republicans doing? Nothing. They're arguing about Kevin McCarthy. You got Kevin McCarthy, you got Mitch McConnell, and somebody else. Oh, this Ronna McDonald. Ronna McDonald. You know what I'm talking about, the GOP. Worthless. I don't know what to tell you. The Democrats are so good. They're so good at what's going on. They are superb. They're not kidding around here. I don't know how to tell you this. I don't know how to explain this to you. I don't know how to get you to get your head out of the sand and pay attention to what's happening. It is unbelievable. I think I'm getting through. I think. Because what I'm seeing is a lot of talking about, stuff. Stuff that doesn't really matter. Kind of, oh, it's great. Nancy Pelosi. They make fun of her. That's okay. Do you know what Nancy Pelosi did? See, I'm sorry. If you want me to come out here and just slam her, you got the wrong person. She was great for the Democrats. You see, remember she tore up the State of the Union? Remember that? She went to Taiwan. I mean, she didn't budge. There was no kidding around. Let me ask you something. Whatever happened with Paul Pelosi? Whatever happened with that story? Anybody? Anybody want to venture a guess? Bye-bye. Well, what about no, it's done. Sorry. Well, what about that guy? Whatever. You're going to forget. Don't worry. Remember Juicy Smellit? Remember him? Whatever happened to him? I don't know. Everybody's still there. Nobody's still here. Remember Maxine Waters? Maxine Waters is so connected with his FTX stuff. Nothing. The Republicans are saying, oh, this is my favorite. Oh, we're going to get to the... And we have proof that we have proof that Joe Biden and Hunter were inextricably connected in this conspiratorial cabal. See that guy back there? That's Christopher Wray. He ain't going to do anything. And behind him, you know who that is? Merrick Garland. AG, he's not going to do anything. What are you going to do? Go ahead. Go ahead. Get Jim Jordan. You know, he doesn't wear a jacket. That's his, Jim Jordan doesn't wear a jacket because he's Jim Jordan. Because he's cool. Doesn't wear a jacket. Okay. Bring him out. Who else? Oh, Rand. Well, there's a Senate. Rand Paul. He's going to yell at Fauci. They'll bring him out again. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing. They don't get anything done. But you, I guess, from watching your favorite TV show, are going to believe that somehow because somebody slams... Oh, have you noticed this? Whenever you want to really make a point, so-and-so, Meghan Markle slams... By the way, that story is so good, but I don't think you care about that. But anyway, but it's really good. Meghan Markle slams... Cristiano Ronaldo slams. Everybody slams. And that has become an alternative to actual action. This slammage. It's true. That's the thing. And with Twitter gone, I don't know. Do you notice how everything... Here's one for you. Just blink once for yes. Have you noticed how Amazon... How many, 10,000 people? Wait a minute. Amazon? Oh, yeah. Wait, Amazon? Meta? Twitter? What's going on here? They're getting rid of all these people? What's happened? FTX? This was the tech. This was incredible. Now let's bring in... Bezos. This is my favorite. I'm going to be Jeff Bezos for a moment, right? I'm going to be a little psychodrama here. And Bezos would tell you, how much money do you think I make with Amazon? Let's assume I get this. By the way, I went to our Dollar Tree or Dollar Tree or whatever. It's $1.50 now. $1.25. Okay, come on. What was it? Dollar Tree we went to or Dollar Tree? Love those stores. Love them. Anyway. Oh, another one too that's coming back. TJ Maxx. Huge. Great customer service. Great. I don't know what that's all about because it was pretty weak there for a while. Anyway, I'm Jeff Bezos. Here's this thing. Okay. I'm going to sell this widget, this thingamajig. Okay. So-and-so in Los Campos, New Mexico, wants me to send this to her. Okay, so I'm going to take this thing, and I'm going to I got to sell it can't sell it for too much. What, $25? No! $1.50. Charge them $2. I'll make 50 cents on it. Not even make 50 cents. Okay. I'm going to put this in a box. I got to pay for the box. Put the label. I got to pay for the label. And put it, and then they're gonna get somebody to take it off of the counter or the shelf, and I gotta put it on this thing and the assembly line. And they're gonna stand it back up, put it on a truck, drive it. I'm not making any money on this. I'm losing money. I've been at a loss the whole time. Amazon doesn't make money on this. Never. Now, I could make some money maybe if I own the trucking, which I kind of sort of do. Maybe but no, eventually, Amazon's going to have nothing but robots, AI. You're going to be seeing warehouses in the dark, freezing, sweltering with these machines going up. But where's all this money from Amazon? Where is it? Where's the markup? The markup that it takes a lot of work to deliver this thing so I can make 50 cents. I mean, it doesn't. So that's what he's going to say. So why is this happening? Why is this? Why all of a sudden are you being told you're getting used to this? Meta losing 750 employees in Manhattan alone. Was it 750? 750. You never hear about Google. You never hear about them. Interesting. Never them. Others as well. Then the other day, Christopher Wray from Twitter, from the FBI says, this Instagram, we think maybe they might be don't know for sure, but maybe they might be stealing your information. Thanks, Chris. With a straight face. Why do you think this is happening? What's going on here? What changed? Why? That takes some time. And that takes somebody to keep going. You think Larry Kudlow is going to tell you that? No. You think maybe Maria Bartiromo we're going to spend 45 minutes going through this. No! You can't do that. You can't do that. We can only give you a minute, maybe a minute and a half. That's it. And we'll just kind of do it. And then I got to get my time in and then your time in. And if I take one guest, make the guest 3, I just diluted that time. I'm not here to teach you anything. Let's move on. Did you read all of the pronouns and sexual or sexual/gender names in the San Francisco story? Did you hear that? What did they do on Fox? They laughed at it. Two-spirit? Well, I wonder if you're going to get twice the money. Very funny. Jeff Malugin, whoever, people, I don't know there. Anyway, that's it. Yeah, but what does that mean? Why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? Who is it? Where is this coming from? Where is the person who along the way said, we need to come up with 7? Where did these new names come from? People I know said, I never heard of Two-Spirit my entire life. But all of a sudden, third in pronouns and, where did this come from? Where is this from? Why is this here? What is the purpose of this? Anybody talk to you about that? Of course not. Why? It takes time. It takes time. Maybe we can go to Dave Portnoy. Maybe he's got an idea. He's pretty. He knows his pizza, and therefore, mozzarella, pronouns. It's a logical transition to me. That's what we need. This bevy of geniuses out there. Just look. Just go and look. It's incredible. Look at these coteries, these cabals, these cadres, these consortia, these convocations of patron geniuses that are philosophical, who can sit back and, who's got that? Believe it or not? Democrats do. I heard Robert Reich do a disquisition on how Donald Trump was worse than Richard Nixon and Watergate. It was interesting. Do we do that? When I say we, do whatever our side is? No. Do we have anything? No. What do you think is going to happen now that the House is in charge or is being run by Republicans? What do you think is going to happen? Nothing. Well, what about DeSantis? Who was the one who came out the loudest against TikTok? Donald Trump. Anybody going to bring that up? Of course not. Why? Well, he's not cool anymore. Oh, good news. Javanka, that's a truncation of Jared and Ivanka. Ivanka wants to say, you know what? I'm out of this politics thing, all that public service. I want to be an influencer. I want to be, look at me. I'm on the dock with my paddleboard. I want to be Kim Kardashian. That's what I want to be. That's it. Okay, fine. We're over here. Who's in charge? Let me ask you something. Who is your leader? Who is your leader? Look at this. Someone writes, it's Marxism. It's not Marxism. Why don't you call it anarcho-syndicalism? It's just as... Where do people... I don't even read a lot of times these comments because it's like, what? But I gotta hit you up with this. Or discuss Marxism. This is about a planned economy? You think this is an economic? You think this is Marxism? China is not Marxist. Who's Marxist? Why? Well, I don't know. It's what I call it. What do you? It's socialism. This isn't socialism. It's the last thing from socialism. This is a welfare state, maybe. Well, whatever. I just use these names. I don't have a lot of time to talk. What was that again? I don't have a lot of time. So what do? So I confine my thoughts to a word or two, which means my worldview is constrained into a couple of ideas. You just say things. Someone writes, it's freedom versus slavery. You're onto something. Do you know what human trafficking is? Do you know what child sexual predation is? Slavery. Absolutely. In its purest sense. Absolutely. You would think, and by the way, good luck with that one. Good luck with that one. So what we're doing, and what I'm trying to do, is to get you to break away from everything. And unless you just want to hear somebody like just... You know what I used to love to do? I loved it. Maybe you did too. Remember going to an album shop? They used to have an album shop and a head shop, and it was a combination. It was like it smelled of incense, and it was black lights, and you had those. Remember the posters and the metal frames and Pi Crappa Zappa and Peace and all that, and you just went through the albums. I loved to just go through the albums, not even listen to them. Just look at the artwork. Just look at that. Wow. Ambrosia, Somewhere I've Never Traveled. Remember that one? Remember Jesus Christ Superstar? Anyway, notice I'm going on. Whatever. Remember this? That's what you want to do. I just want to watch. I don't really want to get... I just want to look at the album covers. I don't want to really get... I don't want to listen to this. I just want to listen. I just want to kind of look. I just want to get a feel for it. Just give me the... Instead of saying groovy or hip or boss, now we say Marxism. Patriot. You're a patriot. You're patriotic. And I'm going to give you an award. Who are you? According to the market of patriotism. I'm going to go back at that again. Democrats are not patriotic? Excuse me. I know some people, and I'm sure you have too. When I worked with a U.S. Senator right out of college, he was on the Veterans Affairs Committee, Dick Stone, and I would go to veterans places, and there's a lot of Democrats. In fact, our senator was Democrat, and there were a lot of folks out there missing limbs, and really, they left their parts of their body on the battlefield all over the world. They're fighting for their country. They were most noble, most heroic. They were Democrats. They believed in some of them. Some of them were anti-war, whatever. I love when people, corner the market. You have got to listen, think for yourself, and do yourself a favor and recognize this fact. You're on your own. There is no team here. There is no team. There is no, hey, can I join? Nothing to join. We are illusory. We talk to each other. I don't even know who we are. And Nancy Pelosi, she's a Democrat, but the people who are behind her, they are so well organized. It's not even funny. They are so smart. Well, it's a different story. It's kind of a different story. Okay? Sorry to say that, but it's true. It's a different story. Okay? It's a different story. Now, let me stop for 1 second. You want to talk about patriotic? I am telling you right now, I like when somebody says, everything says, let's face it, made in China, made in China. Remember the old days it was made in Japan? Remember when made in Japan? We bought some little, not curios or whatever you want to call it, some salt and pepper shakers, and they said made in Japan. That was like really rare. Now it's China, which is, let's face it, it's cheaper and they kind of know what they're doing. So all of a sudden somebody comes along and they say, I'm going to do something different. And that's where Mike Lindell comes in. And I want you to go to mypillow.com and use a promo code Lionel, and don't use anybody else's code because they don't get the credit. He's supporting us, and I want to show them our little team can do wonders. Look at the overstock sale, up to 90% off. Christmas 60-day money-back guarantee through March 1st of 2023. My slippers save $90. Children's Bible story pillows. Bible story throw blankets. My Pillow towel sets save 55%. My Pillows flash sale as low as $19.88. Flash sale 3-piece towel set $24.98. Go anywhere My Pillows as low as $14.98. Mattress toppers save 40%. Complete mattress system. You're not even going to believe this one. I'm not even going to tell you, because you might be driving and you might lose control of your automobile. Down blankets save 30%. It's unbelievable. And every time I think of what they did to Mike Lindell, I'm sorry. You might say to yourself, what does that have to do with it? It has a lot to do with it. Because I want to support people. You talk about patriotic. This guy, he basically had the unmitigated audacity to say he believes in something, and then all these other people came along and just said, nope, sorry. Bed, Bath & Beyond. Okay? That was it. That's all I needed to hear. Certain things like Dr. Oz. What did I tell you about him? Well, what I'm telling you about Mike Lindell, he's the best. So you go to mypillow.com and use promo code Lionel. Do you hear me? Promo code Lionel. Now, in the event you don't have one of these computer thingamajigs, what you're listening to right now, I have no idea. Call 800-645-4965. Listen how fast Mike answers the phone. 800-645-4965. mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. So my friends, guess what's going to happen? You're going to be asked right now as we speak what you're going to do and whom you're going to vote for. So who's it going to be? Is it DeSantis? Do you think the Democrats they're ready to go? They still got the Senate. Carrie Lake is losing her mind. She still can't believe what happened. Blake Masters can't believe. I told you about who, Blake?
Carrie Lake.
Oh, Carrie Lake of Mar-a-Lago. Yeah, well. That's good. Mar-a-Lago, this is the season, by the way. You know that, right? Mar-a-Lago, now that it's cold, that's when it goes crazy. During the summer, they close down because in Florida, you die. So all of a sudden, Trump's making a lot of money with because they make their money in things like weddings and, banquets. So he's there and he's in the news. That might be one of the reasons why he announced so early. Why did he announce so early? Why now? Well, it's good for business. He's not an idiot. He knows what he's doing. And Carrie Lake was nice, except she kept attacking people.
What I'm implying is perhaps she'll be his vice president.
Well, interesting. Oh, maybe Carrie Lake is the vice president? I don't think that's good. I don't think that's good. I heard it was Scott, maybe.
I didn't hear anything. I'm just
Yeah.
I think a woman is a good choice.
Woman's a good choice, but you got to make sure it's somebody who is going to know their role as vice president. I don't want to say know their place. That sounds bad, but know their role as vice president. But we'll see. We'll see. It remains to be seen. Now, do me a favor. Here's something very important. Very, 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 very critical. I want you to go. In fact, I'm going to give you this right now. This is the most important. This is Mrs. L's brand new. This is called Light a Virtual Candle. Ending child sexual exploitation and violence. This is important. I'm going to give you this right now. Do it right now. You would think, would you not, that helping kids would be, the people would come out of the woodwork, right? Wouldn't you think they would say, this is the greatest thing in the world, right? Come out of the woodwork. Wrong. Wrong. I mean, don't you think people would say, well, this is the, of course, kids, yes. No. I do not understand it. As long as I live, I will never understand it. I don't understand what our priorities are. I don't understand why people don't seem to care about this. I don't know. But you can do something by right now going right. Just put it up. Just click on that and watch this. Follow her at Lynn's Warriors. And also on Twitter, while Twitter's still here, at Lynn's Warriors. Now, let me tell you something right now. I don't mean to get you upset. I don't mean to spend a little more time with you than usual. But I want you to do yourself a favor. Think for yourself. Research. Don't let these people dictate your agenda. Don't let them tell you this is what's important. No, you determine what's important. And FTX and SBF and Ellison or whatever, that's the story right now. And followed by, for the sake of it, look what's happening regarding MBS and our friend Mr. Biden. All right, my friends, don't forget to also preparewithlionel.com, preparewithlionel.com, and mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. All right, have a great and a glorious and a wonderful day. Don't ever change. I mean that sincerely. And on behalf of a grateful nation, thank you not for what you do, but for what you appear to do. We'll see you tomorrow, same bad time, same bad channel, 9 a.m. Eastern time. Until then, don't forget the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Ta-ta.